So very exciting. We've turned the Kombi round and we're now going to try and do the front of the Kombi. So most of the sides is done. I've still got the driver and passenger door to do. There's quite a bit of work in those. But otherwise we are working our way through the tricky rusty bits. Now we're on the front. So today I'm going to take off the bumper and then work around the bottom section, around the bottom of the Kombi at the front. See if there's any much rust that needs to be looked after around there and get it primed up. I'm actually not expecting too much. I think it's going to be in reasonably good condition. I'm not going to do the main skin of it, the main front. That'll come later, and then we'll need to take the window out at some point, but that'll come a bit later as well. So all I'm doing today is take the bumper bar off and then get around the bottom, prime it up. So yeah, here goes. Okay, so I'm trying to get the front bumper off, and there are 6 screws holding it, 2 at the front bracket and 1 at the back bracket on each arm, so 6 in total. And 5 of the screws are absolutely fine, move no trouble at all. And of course there is 1 troublesome screw, but this one, there's no way I can cut it off because it goes straight into it's a really complicated bit of the support underneath the car, underneath here, and you can't get to the other side of it. And it's in amongst a whole load of other things that look really important. So I don't want to damage it, and I'm having trouble getting it out. So I've got my enormous screwdriver here, which I love, and I'm going to try and get it out with this. Let's hope I don't break it. Let's hope I don't break myself. Well, that didn't work. I have not been able to shift that bloody screw. And I can't take off the bumper unless I do, even with my bloody great big spanner. So I think I'm going to have to go and buy a socket set. See if that'll do it. Oh dear. Alright, here it is. Well, I completely failed to get the bumper off. I've got my 1 troublesome bolt. I've ordered a breaker bar from Repco, which is like a long-armed socket drive thingy. So I'll have to wait till that turns up to try and get that bolt loose. So in the meantime, I have just cleaned up this area here around the front air intake, the front grille, and I'm going to just finish cleaning this up and then paint it up, prime it. And so off the front here I found all sorts of amazing things. So this is where the cold air comes in if you pull the cold air thing. So on the inside there's a cold air lever, a blue lever, that pushes this thing in and out, which basically pushes up and down these little levers, and that's what lets the cold air in. I'll show you. Just in here. So this is the front of the grille, so that's what's familiar on the front. That's actually an amazing looking condition. I'm really pleased with that. That's far much work at all. And then inside that is the insect grille. So that goes inside the nice orange external grille. And then inside that, so these, I've just bagged these up for safety, but with their screws and things. But these little things here are the flaps. So when you push the blue lever, these literally just push up and let the cold air in. If you don't want cold air in, you pull the lever and the flaps close. It's as simple as that. It's fantastic. Simplicity is amazing. So now I've got these in my collection of things that I mustn't lose in these 2 boxes. So yeah, that's it. Right, well, I've cleaned this area up, which is the front air intake, and I've just deoxidized it. What I'm finding is that as I'm going through this project and the reality of how much there is still to go, I'm having to become quite pragmatic about how much I'm taking this to bare metal. Now the purists will be very upset by this, but I'm choosing to, where I've got a piece of metal like this where it's actually not too bad. I had a little bit of light rust along here which I've attacked There's a little bit of light rust, particularly down in here, that I've attacked. But there's a few bits that I'm actually finding it hard to get at. And so it's kind of, do I spend hours and hours and hours trying to get it back to pure bare metal? Or do I just say, well look, since it was original over 40 years, it's only got some very light rust because it's in a reasonably protected area. So do I take the worst of it off and prime it up and give it a good coat of paint, and that would be good for another 20 years? Yes, that's what I'm doing. So I am, as the project's going, getting a bit more haphazard. I'm dropping my standards, but it's deliberate. I hope no one minds. Well, I'm still trying to get that bloody bolt off. So I've turned the Kombi around where I've got a bit of a rise just where I drive it in. Might just give me a little bit more space to try and get it off. I'm not sure that it is, but I'm going to bloody try. I've got more space.
You have?
Yeah. Here we go. I don't know if I twisted the bolt then or just buggered something out. Broken it. Well, I've used my new breaker bar successfully to take this bolt off. Unfortunately, my breaker bar broke the bolt. So the bolt's come out, but it's sheared off. And which means that half the bolt's still in there. So I'm going to have to discover how serious an issue that is. But at least I'll be able to get the bumper bar off. So that's good.